Welcome, welcome to the Busy Moms Fitness, Nutrition, Mindset, and Accountability group. I am super excited for today's call because we are going to be diving in to one of the pillars, and it's actually going to combo with two of them. So we're going to be diving into that mindset and that accountability pillar. And for those of you who probably missed the last couple weeks and you're like, pillars, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. I'm going to do a little overview for those of you who are new to this group because we've had some awesome people jump in. Cherry, thank you for inviting people into this group just this last week. I truly appreciate it, and so do others in this group. In this group, we talk about four main areas. We talk about fitness, and those four main areas are right in the title of this group, but I'm going to kind of dive into them just briefly so you know what fitness means and what we're going to talk about. So in that fitness pillar, we talk about strength training, we talk about cardio, we talk about stretching, we also talk about proper form. Those are four main things that we're going to talk about under that fitness pillar. Then we move on to that nutrition pillar, and that nutrition pillar is where we're going to talk about what balanced meals look like, how to create meals that are going to energize us rather than drag us down. We're going to talk about how to meal plan and meal prep in a way that doesn't take up your entire day or your entire Sunday. We are also going to talk about meals on the go and how we can make healthier choices that are going to help us and our families rather than something that's going to make us feel a little bit sluggish. So that's just very general. We dive into nutrition pretty deep, just like we dive into fitness pretty deep. And I could go on and on, but I like to throw out like 3 or 4 bullet points. When we talk about mindset, we're going to talk about goal setting, which is kind of what we're talking about today. We talk about planning. We're going to talk about organization. For those of you who know me, organization is like one of my favorite things. I love organizing. I love the satisfaction from an unorganized room to an organized and how that just creates so much productivity. But we're going to teach it in a way that doesn't overwhelm us, because I know that overwhelming of things, of your goals, your planning, your organization, makes us not want to do any of them because we're doing so many other things. And then that pillar of accountability, we're going to really dive into weight loss, weight maintenance, habits, routines, and consistency. And to be honest, for us to achieve any of these things, we need consistency and we need accountability to ourselves and from others sometimes. And that's where we're going to pull in that accountability pillar today, as well as that mindset pillar. So as we move on in today, I want to remind you that you are going to get the most out of these calls by clicking that Zoom link above my head in this training. So if you're watching live, drop live in the comments. Let me know you are here. If you're watching the replay, drop a replay. If you are live, click that Zoom link, jump right into the room. What that's going to do is it's going to spit you in here, and we are going to have an open dialogue. You are going to get to ask me any questions. I will answer literally anything. I will give you any support. This is free coaching every single week. So if you're like, I've never worked with a coach, I don't know if I need to, I have questions, I can't get them answered somewhere else, bring them here, bring them onto the screen. I do know that it is noon and it's probably nap time or lunchtime or we're at work and we can't necessarily jump on live. So if you participate in the comments, you are going to get the same attention from me as if you show up in the group in here in the Zoom. If you don't participate at all, I can't help you and I can't get your questions and I can't support you in a way that's going to help move that needle forward for you. So if you participate, you have my full attention. So with that being the case, for those of you who are watching the live or watching the replay, drop in the comments. Let me know who you are, where you're from, and what is one goal you have. The reason I have you guys share where you're from is there are people from same towns, same states, and you don't even know it in this group. So connect with one another. And the other reason is I asked that third question of what is one goal you have? And that one has a few reasons behind it today. One is I want to know what is that goal that has been a dream for so long that you are ready to make a reality. Is it losing that 10 pounds? Is it being able to pick up something on your own without help? Is it being able to do your first 5K? Is it being able to enjoy your cake without guilt? Like, what is that goal that you've really been reaching for that's really just a dream at this point, but you want to make it a reality? Number two, the reason I'm having you share this goal is because I can almost 100% guarantee that goal that you have, somebody else, another mom in this group, has that same exact goal. And that is just another thing for you guys to connect with and to not feel like you are the only one going through this journey. Because health and wellness is a marathon, not a sprint. And often we feel like we are alone in this, and we're not. And if you can connect with, oh, I have a weight loss goal. I have a weight loss goal. I don't want to feel guilty when I eat. I don't want to feel guilty when I eat. That right there is a small connection, knowing you are not alone. So please share that. And the third and final reason is, if any of you drop your goal, that's the goal we're going to work on in today's training. If nobody drops the goal, that's okay. I've already have one that a lot of you have come to me with. So I've already got a preset one for us to kind of go through and to work through that framework in. So I would love to know, I'm going to refresh the Facebook feed real quick, who you are, where you're from, and then what is one goal that you have. And Danielle, I see you on. Hello. So let me know that in the comments. We're going to get right into the training today. And as you pop on, feel free to pop in, pop out, but go back. You're going to want to follow this framework that we're going to go through, because I don't know about you, but our time is limited in our day, and we need very specific small tasks to complete. And that's what we're going to create. So today, the goal that we're going to be talking about, that goal that we're finally going to turn into reality and stop letting it just be a dream, is the goal of weight loss. I've chosen that because a lot of you have seen, when you jumped in recently, one of the first questions I ask you when you jump into the group is, where do you need the most help? And there's 4 or 5 options, and one of them is, I need help with weight loss / maintenance. So I figured so many of you want help there. Let's dive into that today. So we're going to be talking about weight loss. And let's be honest, the goal of weight loss is super vague. I don't know what that means. Does that mean 1 pound? Does that mean 100 pounds? Does that mean a pound a week? What does the goal of weight loss mean? So we're going to take it kind of back to SMART goals. If you guys remember what SMART goals are: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely. Weight loss is not a specific goal. How can we make that specific? We need to put a metric on it. So a weight loss goal of 10 pounds. Awesome. So now we know how much weight we need to lose. So there's your first thing, is if you are creating a goal and you're not being specific enough with the goal, it's always going to be a dream, because we're never really going to be able to find what that endpoint looks like. We're not going to know if we've ever reached it. Hi, Julie. I see you in Florida. Belly fat. Awesome. I know you are not the only one with that as well. Perfect. Okay, so our goal has to be specific. So for instance, belly fat, what does that actually look like? Maybe it's a body fat percentage we have to look at. Where are we now, and where does it need to be? Maybe it's inches around our waist. So think through, what is that generic goal of weight loss, and how can we make that specific? And it can be as simple as lose 10 pounds in the next year. Awesome. We have a time frame on it. It's specific. We're losing weight. We're going to lose 10 pounds over the course of the next year. Awesome. Sometimes we can go really, really detailed. The more detailed, the better. But I don't want this to be the thing that we spend all of our time on. I want us to look at our MITs. And our MITs is something that you've actually probably not heard me talk about. It's because I just took a training yesterday and they mentioned it, and I was like, aha, I really liked that acronym. I use the same concept, I just don't usually use that acronym. So once we've created a specific goal, we then have to look at our MITs. And that an MIT stands for most important task or tasks. So now we have to look at, and this is where a coach really comes in handy, of to lose that 10 pounds, what do I have to be doing? And it can't be vague. And that is what we get caught up in. And we get caught in as eat right, exercise, get good sleep, drink water. Yes, those are the things you need to do, but we have to get specific on those. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through the MITs to lose 10 pounds over the course of, we're just going to say a year here, just to kind of keep it nice and simple. So the MITs for weight loss are exercise, sleep, water, and a healthy diet. Those are the 4 MITs that are going to get you weight loss. But those are vague, like I said. So let's dive into each of them. So when we think about exercise, we want to think of what type of exercise are we going to do? Are we going to do cardio? Are we going to do strength training? Are we going to take group fitness classes? Are we going to do YouTube-led classes? Are we going to join in on the weekly Zooms that I host? What type of exercise are you actually doing? Maybe you're biking. Maybe you're going to go hike. The type of exercise at this point is not necessarily important. The fact of doing the exercise is what is important. So then we have to look at, we're going to keep it nice and simple. I'm going to walk. That is the what. That is the exercise. Well, where is this going to happen? I live in Michigan, and I'm going to tell you what, I'm not getting out there in the cold to go walk. So what is my solution so that I can continue to walk? I have a walking treadmill for underneath my desk. Maybe you are someone who lives somewhere warm, you're going to walk outside. So where is this activity going to happen? And what that does is that puts you in the right frame of, oh, I need to get a gym membership. Because if you say exercise and in your mind you're going to go to a gym, but you don't have a gym membership, we got to get a gym membership. So what type of exercise? Where is that exercise going to happen? And when is it going to happen? When/how often? And ideally, we want some sort of exercise or intentional movement every single day for weight loss. The easiest way to start reaching that weight loss is if you track your steps. This is what I've found across the board, is by just increasing your steps by 2,000 to 3,000 a day. If we can start to hit an extra 2,000 to 3,000 a day, from there we are burning more calories than we are naturally doing, and it's a very light and easy way. Doesn't have to be this overly intense CrossFit or HIIT or anything. It can be something as simple as walking. So when in your day are you going to do it? Are you going to do it right in the morning? Are you going to do it at the end of the day? Are you going to do it at the lunch? And how often? So maybe you need to break it up into 3 segments. So your questions around exercise are what, where, when/however, how often. Okay. If you have questions, drop them. I'm just going to keep going through these MITs. So your first most important task is exercise. Your second most important task is going to be water. And you're going to think, I feel like diet's most important. Diet is the one that is the most challenging for any of us to take on. Walking is much easier than fixing our whole diet. Drinking water is much easier than fixing our whole diet. So water, things we want to think about. How much water am I going to be drinking every day? What is that goal? Think about how much are you currently drinking, and your goal should be half your body weight in ounces. So if you are currently drinking 20 ounces, do not make your goal 60 ounces. Make your goal 30 ounces, and we will slowly build up. Make that goal something that is actually realistic for you to grab. The other thing you need to know is how much and how are you going to get it in? And this is one where my biggest piece of advice is get a water bottle that you enjoy, that you will carry around with you everywhere. I'm going to show you mine. This is the most excessive thing I've ever bought. This is the only time I do not travel with this is when I get on an airplane, because it is overly excessive. But I have a whole gallon water bottle. My goal is not the whole gallon. My goal is 90 ounces. But I know if I have to fill up a water bottle throughout my day, it's not going to happen on some days. For instance, Tuesdays, I'm with people from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. I barely have time to go up and go to the bathroom. So filling up a water bottle doesn't happen. But if I have something that's fully in front of me and I can carry around with me everywhere I go, that right there is going to make sure I get that water in. And as I drink it, it gets lighter, which is also another perk. So for water, how much water is your goal, and how are you going to make sure you get it in? You have to be specific on those. Okay, the next one that I want you to focus on is sleep. So the third MIT for weight loss is sleep. Reason being, if we get horrible sleep, what it does is it's going to trigger that hunger hormone in our mind to say, I didn't sleep really well. I need to eat more. And we end up eating more throughout the day. And the more we eat throughout the day and the less we move throughout the day, the likelihood of gaining weight is higher. So we need to prioritize our sleep. And maybe that means a bedtime. Maybe that means we set a 9 o'clock bedtime and we go to bed at 9 and we wake up at the same time every morning. If you can have a consistent sleep schedule or a range, you are going to find yourself eating less and having more energy, which is going to help with that weight loss. Just to give a frame of reference, I go to bed anywhere between 8:30 and 10:30. 10:30 is a really late night from Monday through Friday, or Sunday through Thursday, I should say. Weekends are always later, but I know that. But from Sunday night to Thursday night, I go to bed between 8:30 and 10:30, and I'm up between 4 and 6 in the morning. And I know that if I fall in that buffer, I've gotten enough rest for me and my body to feel good. So when we think about sleep, we want to think of how much sleep makes us feel good. How much are we currently getting? We always want to look at what we are currently doing. And then what action do we have to put into place to make sure that we're getting that good sleep? And that action can be a bedtime, a wake up time. It could be turning the TV off and not having the screens. It could be turning your phone off. It could be a variety of things that interrupt our sleep. And we can dive into a sleep training later, but think of what can you do to make sure you get that good rest? Is it making sure that you know you sleep really well when you've had a warm shower before bed? Make sure you schedule that warm shower in so you can get into bed and be nice and cozy. I'm one of those people. I like to turn the heated blanket on, shower, come to bed, I sleep with fuzzy socks on. It's awesome. Keeps my body temperature the same all night long, and I love it. And I know that that is how I get good sleep. If you don't know how you get good sleep, start with a bedtime. That is the easiest spot to start. Start with a bedtime. Okay, so our first 3 MITs, most important things, were exercise, water, and sleep. That fourth thing that I talked about is a balanced, healthy diet. And the reason that I left this till the end, like I said, is the diet is the thing people have the most resistance on. It's the thing that's going to move the needle forward the fastest, but it's the hardest thing to accomplish. It's the hardest thing to stay consistent with, from the moms that I've worked with, because we are eating for other people. We are feeding other people. We're snacking on things. Healthy diet looks different for each and every mom. So what you have to first look at is, what does your diet look like now? And this is where the quick 1-week food audit comes into handy. Then we have to look at, what do we want it to look like? So it looks like this. We want it to look like this. Awesome. What is one area that we can focus on to get it from here to here? And maybe that is 2 servings of vegetables per day. Maybe that's a salad a day. Maybe that's protein at every meal. Maybe that's a fruit with breakfast. Start with one single thing that you can implement every day. Reason being is we cannot fix our whole diet. We cannot fix our entire exercise regimen. We cannot fix all of our water consumption, and we cannot fix all of our sleep at once, because I can guarantee the 0 to 100 approach works long-term for like less than 1% of people. What we really have to do is we have to build consistent habits and routines by starting with really small, actionable steps. They're going to move us towards that goal, get us seeing that win, seeing those few pounds drop off and be like, okay, I'm doing good. I can now incorporate the next thing. And that comes from consistency and accountability. Julie says, spare bedroom, have a snoring partner. Yeah, spare bedroom if you want to sleep all night long. Maybe the couch, like things like that. You got to incorporate, you got to figure out what helps you sleep good. What is going to help you have a good diet? So thinking through this, talking about consistency and accountability, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you how we track accountability and consistency in the Get Fit With Me accountability program. It's a super awesome way. We use an app called My Coach. And if you want to see what My Coach could do for you in your weight loss goal, just drop coach in the comments and I will reach out to you and we'll have a little conversation. But I'm going to show you what my actionable steps are. And what this does is I would we would put in exercise, what that exercise goal, what that water goal is, what that sleep goal is, as well as what that diet goal is. So I'm going to show you, and if weight loss is your goal and you've figured out which task in each of these categories you have to complete, we put it into the My Coach app, and it is a daily checkoff. It's somebody checking in on you. It's me checking in on you every single day. Did you do it or did you not? And when we can clearly look at and say, I did it or I did not, that is when we see progress. That is when we move the needle forward. That is when we finally become consistent with something and that weight starts to drop, and it continues to drop. For instance, I went on vacation last week. I know I did not stay consistent with everything. I did not. But I knew as soon as I re-implemented that consistency on Sunday, I felt lighter right away. I got good sleep. I drank all my water. I moved. I did all the things that my body knows makes me feel good. Therefore, I feel lighter now than I did when I came home from vacation. Food was amazing, so I don't regret any of it, but I do know how to make my body feel good. And it's because of these MITs and by having this tracking ability. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you what this looks like. Share screen. Awesome. Okay, so this right here is a screenshot of what the inside of our My Coach app looks like. And remember, if you want to see what this would look like for you and your goals and help your goals actually be a reality, drop coach in the comments and I'll reach out to you and I'll share how we can make that happen. So today, my actions, I have 5 of them, and these are customizable. No alcohol. One of the things that I'm really trying to do for my self-awareness is only drinking when I'm ready to enjoy, rather than drinking when there's a stressed out day or when it's been a long day, because that's something we can have a tendency to fall into. Maybe yours isn't alcohol, maybe yours is sweets. Maybe you have something that you use as a release, that's something you consume, when we can create a healthier habit around that. Strength training. So you're gonna see I have 2 separate ones here. This one right here is 15 minutes of intentional movement, and in parentheses, when this is long, it says walk, bike, or strength. These are the same. So when I check off my strength training is going to be at least 15 minutes, which means I can check both of these off. The reason I have them both in here is I want to remember that today's a strength training day on my schedule. It's not I get to choose. It is strength training. So I will check these off, and when I check these off, they will turn green. When I click it and I say did not do, they will turn red. And what will happen is the more days you go in a row with the green, you get confetti, and it says 1-day streak, 10-day streak, 15-day streak. We've got people in the accountability program right now that are on 22-day streaks and more, of them doing 2 to 5 tasks a day, really small, for themselves, and they are seeing the results in it. And this app right here allows us to do that. It allows me to check in on you and say, okay, Julie, you said you were going to do your 10 push-ups today. Did you do your 10 push-ups? And I can clearly see a yes or a no. Did she do it or did she not? So when you think about accountability and consistency, we want to think about, how am I going to track this? And you can do pen and paper. You can do a notebook. There is a ton of ways out there. But the most effective way that I have found is a technology way where somebody else on the other end is checking in on you. But if that is not where you're at, I totally get it. If that is something you want to talk about, drop coach in the comments and we will have a conversation. But I want you to remember, be specific with your goal. Your goal is not weight loss. Your goal is lose 10 pounds in a year. And then what are those MITs, those most important tasks that you have to do daily to get you to that weight loss goal? It's not a do here and there. Consistency is something you do every single day, day in and day out, whether it feels good or not, whether you feel like doing it or not. So exercise. What, where, and when? Water. How much? And how are you going to make it happen? Sleep. How much? And what is the thing you need to start doing? Bedtime. Is it actually having an evening routine? For your diet, we've got to look at what are we currently doing? What do we want it to look like? And what is one thing that we can start doing every single day? Adding a fruit, adding a vegetable, increasing that protein. We got to stay consistent with it. So I'd love to know in the comments, insights and takeaways from today's training. What kind of stood out to you? What stuck to you like glue? As I'm going to take that away. And then that final thing that I want you to share is, what is a win that you have? Because we like to celebrate wins in this group. So what is a win that you had over the past week? Whether it's personal, family, whatever it may be, what is a win you had that made you feel good in this last week? And when we celebrate those wins, it helps push us forward. And when we can acknowledge these wins in our weight loss journey and when we're in our health journey, we are going to continue being consistent longer. If we don't acknowledge the wins and we just keep looking at how far we still have to go and not how far we've come, we are going to hit a wall. We are going to stop. So I want you to share a win in the comments as well. If you have any questions, reach out to me. If you want to see how my coach will work for you actually making your goals a reality and stop letting them be a dream, drop coach in the comments and I will reach out to you. And I will see you all same time, same place next week, noon on Thursday. I'll see you all then.